What if I told you the biggest financial mistake you can make doesn't feel like a mistake at all? It feels logical. It happens quietly, usually late at night, when you open your investment app, stare at your balance after months or years of discipline, and think, this isn't doing anything. That single thought is where most people lose their future wealth, not because they're bad with money, but because they quit right before things start working. Here's the truth no one explains clearly. Compound interest is not supposed to feel exciting in the beginning. In fact, it's designed to feel slow, boring, and almost pointless. Imagine you invest $500 every month into a simple index fund. No risky bets, no shortcuts, just consistency. After your first year, you've put in $6,000. And your return? Maybe a couple $100. That's it. It feels underwhelming. It feels like your money is barely moving. And that's exactly where most people start doubting the process. By year 3 or 5, your balance might grow to $20,000 or even $40,000. But here's the catch. Most of that is still your own money. The actual growth feels small compared to the effort. Meanwhile, people around you are spending, upgrading their lifestyle, buying things, enjoying the present. And your brain starts asking a dangerous question. What's the point? This is the phase where most people quit, not because they failed, but because the progress doesn't feel rewarding yet. But what they don't realize is that these early years are the most important part of the entire journey. You're not building wealth yet. You're building the base. And from ground level, a foundation always looks unimpressive. It just looks like dirt. But without it, nothing big can ever stand. Now here's where things get interesting. Somewhere between years 7 to 10, something starts to shift. Your account begins to grow faster, not because you're investing more, but because your money is starting to work on its own. This is the first time compounding becomes visible. Your returns are no longer tiny. They begin to feel real. Crossing your first major milestone, like $100,000, changes everything. Because now, your money starts generating noticeable daily growth. From this point, the game changes completely. The second $100,000 comes faster than the first. Then the third comes even faster. Why? Because compounding is no longer relying only on your contributions. It's building on itself. Your money is earning returns, and those returns are earning even more returns. It's like momentum finally kicking in. By the time you reach 15 to 20 years of consistent investing, the numbers start becoming powerful. Your account doesn't just grow, it accelerates. At this stage, your investments may be generating thousands of dollars every month on their own. Think about that. Money coming in, not because you worked more hours, but because you stayed consistent long enough. And this is where something deeper changes, not just financially, but mentally. You start feeling secure, not rich, not flashy, just stable. You're no longer dependent only on your paycheck. There's a system working quietly in the background, growing every single day. But here's the harsh reality. Most people never reach this stage. Not because they couldn't, but because they didn't wait long enough. They quit during the slow phase. They pulled out when nothing seemed to be happening. They chose short-term satisfaction over long-term growth. And the cost of that decision is massive. Not just a few $1,000s, but potentially millions over a lifetime. Because compound interest doesn't just grow money, it multiplies time. The earlier you start, the more powerful it becomes. A small amount invested early can outperform a much larger amount invested later, simply because it had more time to grow. Now imagine two people. One starts investing early and stays consistent, even when it feels boring. The other starts, gets frustrated, stops, and plans to try again later. Years pass. Life gets busy. And that later never really comes. In the end, the difference between them isn't intelligence or income. It's patience. That's the real secret. Compound interest is not about being smart or lucky. It's about staying in the game. It's about ignoring the noise, resisting the urge to quit, and trusting a process that doesn't show results immediately. Because here's the irony. The time when it feels like nothing is happening is actually when everything is happening. Those early dollars you invest have the most time to grow. They go through the most cycles of compounding. They are the most valuable dollars you will ever invest. So if you're looking at your account right now and it feels small, slow, or disappointing, understand this. You're not failing. You're early. You're in the phase where most people give up. And if you can push past this stage, you've already done the hardest part. In the end, building wealth isn't about dramatic moves or perfect timing. It's about consistency, patience, and discipline. It's about doing something simple for a long time, even when it feels like it's not working. Because one day, without warning, you'll open your account again, and this time, the numbers will look different. Not slightly different, but dramatically different. And you'll realize that all those quiet, boring years weren't wasted. They were building something powerful. So don't quit early. Don't chase shortcuts, and most importantly, don't let slow progress trick you into making a permanent mistake. Stay in your seat, because the moment it finally starts to feel like it's working is the moment most people are already gone.